Today I want to talk to you about what happens when you allow other people's voices to interfere with your creative vision. Particularly, I want to use the example of Michael Lang, founder of Woodstock. And if you haven't seen the documentary Woodstock 99 on Netflix, I highly recommend that you watch it. It's not every day that I recommend watching Netflix or watch Netflix myself. So Michael was the one who put together the first Woodstock, the original Woodstock. The one and only, honestly, if you think about it, Woodstock 69. And then later on, in the 90s, he decided to try to revive it. And unfortunately, he paired up with this investor, kind of promoter type of business guy, and allowed that person to really mess with the vision. I don't know Michael's intentions, honestly, so I'm not going to speak of them, but the other guy made it abundantly clear. And he talked about it, and he said, like, this is a for-profit venture, and it's a business, and business is business. And so they're trying to recreate Woodstock, which Woodstock 69 is all about peace and love and all of that. It was more of an organic movement. They're trying to recreate it in the 90s with the millennial kids. And they're asking, well, how do we appeal to a maximum number of millennials so that we can sell? And of course, they decided to bring music like Limp Bizkit and Korn and that type of thing. And of course, what kind of crowd does that attract? Has nothing to do with peace and love and all of that. But that's what they did, because they wanted to sell. And this is like such an important lesson here for marketers. It's not our job to change people's values. It's not our job to convince people to have different values as marketers. Our job as marketers is to create an alternative that makes the old way redundant. For example, I used to consult all these e-commerce businesses. Why aren't you passion and purpose driven? How come you are not speaking your truth? How come you're bullshitting your customers and your employees? Why are you copying your competition? I kept telling them to stop being so mindless and lost and whatever, and stop focusing so much on just your profits and your revenues, and let's care about the customer and blah, 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 and love them and all of that. All right. And I was deeply upset that so many businesses didn't care or pretended to care but didn't. Don't get me wrong, like a lot of them were honest, but a lot of them were actually BSing. Like a lot of them had these purposes, 10% to save the purple orangutan, but like they treat their teams like garbage, they treat their customers like garbage, the product is crap, it's a scam at every point, and then like 10% at the end to help save the environment somehow makes it all okay. Right? And it doesn't, but that's the kind of the idea. So I kept complaining and being angry and upset about it, and I was like, why can't these people do better? And then I realized, oh, wait a second, it's not that they don't want to, it's just that they're afraid because they don't have an alternative just yet. Like, if you're looking at your revenues going down and you need to pay your team and you need to survive as a business, yeah, your passion and purpose are great, and you definitely want to be led by purpose and all of that beautiful stuff, but of course you're going to prioritize short-term goals. So a lot of people want to do better, it's just that they don't know how, they can't. And so that's when I realized, okay, it's not my job to change their minds. It's not my job to get them to care. My job is to offer an alternative that helps them make the profit, helps them make the money, but also in a way that is aligned with the heart, with the passion, with the purpose, with all of that. And then make it so abundantly available that it's really up to you to choose if you want to do it or not at that point. It's like there is an alternative. You will make the money. You don't have to, you don't have to be afraid. I'm offering you a better way to do it. Now the ball is in your court. You decide if you want to do it or not. But it's not my job as a marketer to convince you to change your mind and to start caring all of a sudden if you don't. So what these people did wrong is, because this guy didn't give a shit, right? This partner who was all about profit and said it many times, like the creative team, the interns, the poor kids that were working on this project, Woodstock 99, they kept telling him, like, this isn't right. like, this is not what we had in mind. Like, you're messing with the creative vision. This is not what we are wanting to put out in the world. He didn't care. All he cared about is like, what does the market want? What do millennials want these days? They want Limp Bizkit. They want Korn. Okay, I know we want to create like a loving event, but let's just hope that somehow it falls together and it works out like that. That the values somehow make their way into it. And even in the way they ran the business and the operations, they really just didn't care. Like, they were the gouging the prices, the taking advantage of the kids, the bottles of water that were like $4 at a time in 1999. If you're a teenager spending $4 on a bottle of water, it's a lot. In a blazing heat, people needed that. They needed shade. The experience was crappy. The toilets that were spilling everywhere, the lack of care, the lack of security. Tons of people got sexually assaulted, period. And the kids felt unloved and they felt uncared for. And they coined it profit stock. Of course, they called it profit stock. They wrote that everywhere on the walls. For a good reason, because customers aren't stupid. Clients are not stupid. They can see if you care or if you don't. And you can say whatever you want to say in your marketing, but whether or not your intent is right or whether or not you love the people that you serve, it shows even if you try not to. As hard as you try to hide it, it is always going to show up at every level in the business. So what I want to leave you with is, A, if you haven't seen this documentary, please do watch it. It's very, very interesting. And B, you gotta see what happened here. What happened is that Michael had a vision to recreate Woodstock, and unfortunately he allowed somebody who didn't love it, who didn't care about it, to come in and dictate parts of this, experience, which ended up messing the entire thing, which the people, the customers, the kids that were attending the event, spoiler alert, they ended up like burning the entire thing down, of course. And yeah, that's what you have, and that's what you get when you try to, what's the word I was gonna say? There's an inside joke I need to share with you guys, the word Schwartz. I found this meme once. It was like half a horse, half shark. I'm gonna try to put it somewhere here. As a joke for, when I have a creative vision for something and then the client has a completely different vision and we're trying to combine it and it just doesn't work because you're trying to put a horse and a shark together and it creates an animal that just makes no freaking sense. It doesn't work that way. Somebody has to be a visionary. It could be multiple people who have vision to see the business in a certain way, have a vision. It's okay for multiple people to be involved in that vision, but they have to be aligned. You have to be aligned by one North Star. You've got to have one North Star that everybody follows. You can have multiple people, again, on the creative team, of course, you can have multiple people planning for the brand, the business, the story, and all of that, but ultimately there has to be one North Star. And that North Star, it's got to be crystal clear for everyone who is involved. Otherwise, you're creating an abomination of something where you're trying to create a Woodstock experience, but it's capitalism at its worst. It's driven by, by greed. There's no love in it. There's no care. None of that. And sadly, Michael passed away a few months after the interview. And that was his last attempt, and he never really got to rebuild this thing, the vision that he had. To me, that's like incredibly sad to die with that, to die with a vision for something that you wanted to put out in the world that you allowed other people to mess with for profit. Thank you for watching. My name is Aliana Bargawi. I am founder at Brands Are Alive, transformation guide and brand marketing consultant. I help mindful people and creators bring their full self-expression to everything they create and build brands that reflect who they really are and that their hearts, right? And I want to show you that there's always a way to have a business that's truly a combination of passion, purpose, and profit. You do not have to give up on your heart and your inner guidance and your inner wisdom for profitability. You can have profit and allow your inner child to play, right? That's where magic happens. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.